I sing it by myself or play it alone. 'Cause I've nothing left to do but live on.
Hello. Okay. We all grew up with music. We heard it in school. We listened to our parents' old cassette tapes, right? Does anyone here still know what cassette tapes are? On the screen, I think. Yeah. Music, we heard it on radio and old stereo of our relatives, right? And we heard our families belt out songs on karaoke machines at every family reunion, right? As for me, I was like any other person who heard the tune while walking to school. It didn't really matter. It was something from the background. All I could hear were a collection of sounds, period. Until one day, I heard my mom strumming, Ugoy ng Duyan. Does anyone know or familiar with Ugoy ng Duyan? Okay, maybe I can sing it with you or to you. So, this one. Sana'y di magmaliw ang dati kong araw nang munti pang bata sa piling ni nanay. Nais kong mauli ang awit ni inang mahal, awit ng pag-ibig habang ako'y nasa duyan. That is the song. Thank you. You know, when something just clicks, it all suddenly makes sense. And everything seems like it's been put into places before you, right? For the first time, instead of just hearing music, I listened. As I continued to hear my mom's playing, all I could think was how sweet it was to listen on one's emotion or pureness and rawness of one's emotions translated through music, right? She began to sing, and as she sang, that's when I understand why people cry when a specific lyric is being sung or is sung, right? How it enters through every crevice and depth of one's soul, right? I knew then on I wanted to sing. I wanted my voice to be like a caress and a warm embrace. I wanted to hold on to that feeling again and again. This is how my mom brought me to that state when she sang that song. There is no denying that music has a strong influence to our soul, mind, and body, right? For many, including myself, the after effect of music brings you to the opposite end of a spectrum. For example, after your class in the afternoon, you put your earphones on, right? As you leave, while waiting to a jeep or a bus to arrive, you've already listened to a couple of songs. And then you decide to shuffle the playlist. And then boom. Never mind, I found someone like you. Someone Like You plays by Adele, right? Or any specific song that could really cut your hearts out, right? We listen to music. We listen to music to satisfy our soul. At the moment, we've most felt it, right? Be it for the reason of heartaches, or be it for the reason of happiness, right? It's amazing how music works. It brings you to surface emotions that weren't there to begin with, right? It's also mind-blowing how music can be a song of heartaches to one and a warm embrace to another, right? One more remarkable aspect about music is that it can be timeless to any individual. Before I began writing songs, or before I began singing, I was listening to music existed before or existed from previous generation to where I was born in. Music doesn't fade out. It evolves and stays to this day, right? Just as picture, hold on to a memory of a moment. Song, hold on to emotion of a moment. Right? This statement I will use only because of how true it is. If you're looking for forever, music was one of them. I was probably 12 years old when I started to write songs. Does anyone here know Carol Banawa? Sampaguita, Florante, Asin. In my earliest memory, these are the artists I listened to. Although, growing up, I distinctively remember hearing the Carpenters. And I could say to this day that they are one of my biggest influence, if not the biggest. But then, I was still young and unaware of my own sound. I wanted to make songs like theirs and sing exactly like Karen Carpenter's, right? That's simple for me. The point here is how much impact music can be on a person. How it became a medium for calming the senses. How it awakens emotions and talent that were once dormant. Right? Music, obviously, was the avenue to bring my dreams to life. What follows is the after effect, at least for me. Right? As I mentioned earlier, the world of music opened up to me when I first heard my mom sing. But it's been with me from the time immemorial of my existence. It's like in my mother's womb, deep in slumber, with no care or knowledge of what the world offered outside, came the knocking of her voice as she sang or as she sung of events, experiences, and senses I had yet to discover. I didn't know where nor how. But then I'm sure my being felt the love reaching out its hand for me to hold. Simply by hearing the touch of the foreign sound, soon to be revealed once I have been received by this world. As a baby is first introduced to sound with caws and cries, and eventually learn to speak, just how music or evolution of sound of music to me. Through time, music evolved from noises, translated itself to me in melodies and words. Ultimately, introducing itself to me as emotion and self-experiences. This was my real growth or real growth story in music. This was the seed planted in my being. I solely followed the compass already placed inside that led me to this art form. You think that after that encounter with music, it could just come naturally, right? Music, surprisingly, brings me to a desolate place. Right? A desolate place. But it was exactly what I needed to grow as an artist. In the midst of desert, I was planted with no root or with no water. Nothing. Oddly enough, that's where the flow of the artistic thought came to be. Remember this. To learn how to strive in the most unexpected places. This gave me strength to persevere and continue in this call. To begin solely in my craft. As I continue on the creative process of my songs, I've come to the understanding that by simply observing my surrounding was all I needed to translate my message through music. You don't need a terrible situation for you to write the greatest romantic tragedy in history so you can connect to the audience or you can connect to your listener. Though yeah, sometimes we need drama in life. Sometimes we create an alternate reality in our heads to imagine, feel, and experience certain scenario to match the emotion in a song or in your art. One more reminder, or you should remember this. Something that comes from you is already in itself a masterpiece. Out of the overflowing of the heart comes forth you. So what is the after effect of music to me? or to me, what just came out of my mouth earlier is what music has done to my life. I was given this opportunity because of music. This was one of its after effects. May you found your after effect in music too. But it doesn't just end there. Even beyond music, if you're called to something aside from this art form, may you find your after effect in that area too. Last thing, you need to be open to the world and notice the small details in life, because that's where I found mine. Thank you.